Okay, in today's video, I want to talk about how I'm preparing for the next season in Destiny 2, as well as Arc 3.0 PvP stuff. So what I'm doing right now is I have my Dares of Eternity loadout on. I am collecting treasure keys on the off chance that I can get a good battle rifle on day one. This is one of my favorite weapons in the game, honestly, ever in Destiny and across Halo. So I definitely want one of these. What's going to be added is an origin trait. I don't know what that is. Also, suspiciously on d2gunsmith.com in the database, it shows up as craftable. So I imagine I'm going to get this question a lot. I have got this question a lot already, but even more so. What would I craft on the Battler if I could hand pick it? So first we're going to go with recoil direction, brings it to 100. I want steady rounds for AE. I imagine that if this is reintroduced, it's going to have a higher base airborne effectiveness. So maybe I just go ricochet rounds, but we'll see. Gonna default to steady rounds. Now, interestingly enough, if I go stability masterwork, I'm gonna have way too much stability. I think 80 is the sweet spot for this frame. So if snapshot is always gonna be selected because it gets me to my most accurate state as fast as possible, and it gives +5 stability right there, I'm gonna be at 89. So I can almost get away with a ranged masterwork. Keep in mind at level 20 of a crafted weapon, you get a small bump to all stats, right? So I will get a little bit more stability. If I went Eye of the Storm, it's going to be more than enough and it would be perfect. So this is a really good daily driver, but I think for sixes, I go kill clip, and for everything else, blunt execution rounds, and then for very specific grenade builds, adrenaline junkie. I'm easily going to make 4 or 5 of these. I don't value elemental capacitor or rangefinder as much on my battler. Again, overall, this is my favorite weapon in the game, so that's why I'm going to try to get it. Also, the Wastelander is kind of crazy if this was craftable. I would have enhanced 1-2 punch. I would go slide shot or perpetual motion right here, but I think slide shot makes more sense. Maybe assault mag since I use these to break Titan barricades. And probably full choke again just because I'm trying to keep it as accurate as possible point blank. A handling masterwork is probably not going to happen. If I run quick charge on my armor, this will boost it to 100, but I think I'm going to go a range masterwork anyway and just take a small hit to handling. If I had to pick a barrel, I'd probably go small bore, but since I can only craft one of them, it's going to be full choke. Enhanced 1-2 punch is a nutty perk. The lightweight frame shotties already have the tightest pellet spread, and you only need to hit 10 out of 12 pellets to proc 1-2 punch, which will give you more melee damage and can potentially one-hit bubble titans. What makes the Wastelander special is it has a smaller reticle. So between the Wastelander and I guess its analog, which is the Haunted Shoddy, let me show you on my Destiny item manager. Sure, it's on one of my characters. I will have a pretty similar shotgun in both slots, so I'm excited about that. I have killed so many bubbles with this shotgun. I strongly recommend that you give this roll a try if you haven't already. And yes, I own a nearly perfect, if not perfect, Found Verdict Time Lost, and I still prefer to just shut down bubble titans and barricades without remorse. Other than that, I have 21 treasure keys. I collect the black boxes with the strange coins that I get, and then 21 treasure keys fill up my Postmaster. So right now I'm almost done with Warlock. I'll move on to Hunter and then move on to Titan. Now, what do I talk about first? Raid prep or Arc 3.0 stuff? Let's go with raid prep. Raid prep I'm going to keep pretty simple. I think it's easiest to show the exotic tab. If I play Warlock, I'm going to go in with a Starfire Protocol, Phoenix Protocol swappable set. If the encounter calls for it, I will have Bellwinter's Helmmaid, Ozymancy Shadebinder for ad control, and then if we need a DPS setup, Geomag Stabilizers, assuming we use like power ammo to get us to DPS, and then the actual supers to damage. There's a cool interaction with Titan where Phoenix Cradle can extend a Chaos Reach duration. So you could have like your Phoenix Cradle Titan be on Divinity or something like that, or just shoot rockets or something, while everyone else is Chaos Reaching. You might be saying, well, how are you going to make the Sunspot? You can also airstrike your hammers, or I can menu over to Lorelei, then swap back to Phoenix Cradle, or just get a kill or something. I don't know. Also, killing myself with Phoenix Cradle does create a Sunspot. So there's a lot of interesting interactions here that I will DPS test, and if the raid calls for it, I think it would be pretty fun to do. But other than that, on Titan, Caress of the Falling Star is what I'm going to go for on Arc for majority of it. If I have to live with Stasis, Hoarfrost, or Heart of Inmost Light. If I go Arc, I'm probably running a special weapon setup that contributes to blinding from some new perks. Maybe Synthoceps, don't overthink it. Precious Scars on the Arc setup, so I'm always living. On Hunter, I think Aeons is a good call on the challenge mode if there are champions. Renewal Grass for DPS, so we live during DPS in our well. Star Eater Scale, Blade Barrage, or Tether. Then I have Omnioculus to just live, get us to DPS if it's a really difficult section. Stompies for jumping puzzle, that type of thing. I bring a lot of different things. Maybe Blight Ranger might have some use, so I do have that, but I don't have a build for it. If Blight Ranger is seriously used, I'll make the build on the spot. I really don't think it's going to be used. So yeah, that's the exotics. Now we look at the artifact here. Overload bows. Here's what I'm bringing to the table with bows. Explosive Head helps make the overload bow very consistent. Also got Sympathetic Arsenal in case I have to hit instant reloads. Stasis if I need it, another explosive bow. Trinity Ghoul is probably going to be equipped to me for most of the raid, even if I'm not on Arc, just because it's a wonderful weapon. Got another explosive head bow with shoot to loot. I don't think this has the interaction where you get extra power ammo off of shooting the floor. And then I have a Frenzy / Dragonfly Wolftone that I can use for Arc interactions if I really need to. So moving on. Unstoppable Pulse Rifle. Got a lot of great pulses. I'm lacking a little bit on Arc though, so I have to craft an Insidious. I'm also lacking on Void. I only have a Premonition, but I also thought if I have to use a Void Pulse, I'll probably use Graviton Lance. Got the Ogma with Disruption Break Adaptive Munitions. And remember, I collected all those keys. I'm definitely using the Battler. In the Kinetic slot, I prefer Chattering Bone just because of the lightweight bonus. Though if I'm going to be shooting ads for hours on end, I'm switching to Syncopation and not aiming down sights. For Anti-Barrier Scout, I have some pretty goated scouts, but not the best ones in the game, because there is a interaction with shoot to loot and explosive rounds, where if you shoot an ammo brick, you get extra bullets. So I'm assuming that's going to be fixed in a hot patch, but if it's not, I have Servant Leader with Osmosis and shoot to loot, which is huge. A Dragonfly Hung Jury. A shoot to loot Vorpal Perseus. Shoot to loot One for All. I want explosive rounds, even if that interaction doesn't work, by the way. Got shoot to loot Vorpal and multi-kill clip. It's my PvP scout. This is my Atheon scout for dealing with arc shields. I once again wish that I got shoot to loot explosive, but adaptive munitions will do in a pinch. Probably not using scout rifles. I can create an ignite build with Skyburner's Oath if it comes up, but I doubt it's going to be better than Trinity Ghoul. Anti-barrier autos maybe will come up. If I go Warmind Cells, unlikely I go Warmind Cells, just going to go pure survivability, pure blinding. Grab just any Sorrow's Verse, throw it in here, not going to think about it, but it's in the vault if I need it. Ankle Breaker Express. Unstoppable shotguns. I have a lot of Gambit shotguns because I used to take Gambit pretty seriously there. Why am I... Wait, if I type Gambit, it will show up, I promise you. I'll mark some weapons for Gambit. Some very specific weapons. I like this one. Lead from Gold, 1-2 punch. Run that with the Synthocept Titan and Izanagi's Burden. You're off to the races. I really just got 1-2 punch shotties in both slots, so it's all good. Shotguns are sorted. Then we also have Anti-Barrier Snipe and Overload LMG. So let's start with Machine Gun. I have quite the selection here. Starting with the Seraph Saws. If I use Wither Horde and then switch to this, it will create a Warmind Cell. So I might actually pick Blinding Warmind Cells if the situation calls for it. Then for boss damage, I have a Firing Line version too. Or sorry, for mobbing, I have a Firing Line version. For bossing, I have Vorpal. Got a lot of PvP roles, but I do have a PvE Vorpal Autoloading Holster Avalanche, and it does also have Dragonfly. And then a Reconstruction, Rampage, Commemoration, as well as I will pull Thunderlord and Xenophage if it calls for it. Sniper rifle time. A lot of PvE snipers. Got auto-loading Vorpal. That's my go-to. If I need Arc, I will pull Adored out of the collections. And I think I am good, because if I have to go Solar, I go triple tap, high impact reserves, and maybe make a light Warmind cell build. Again, with the blinding Warmind cells. Those are super useful. Also, Power of Rasputin can stack on top of things, so I will definitely use that too. I have every role of Succession you can imagine, some for Gambit, some for PvE. I think that was on my Hunter because I was doing some psyops. So I am good to go when it comes to things to farm for. The reason I showed you all this is because if you really want to go hard in the raid, you can go get some similar items. A D2 Gunsmith is a wonderful resource for trying to find something to farm for. Like if you want a, I don't know, Arc Sniper, there you go. You can farm Apostate on certain days if you really want to go for Lead from Gold and Kill Clip, I guess. Wellspring just got a buff. I think just don't overthink it. Go Adored. Other than that, I see some other mods. There is no classy restoration here, so I'm really excited about that. But what I'm not excited about in terms of PvP is scout and sniper targeting on the head, because people are going to be running double or triple snipe targeting, and they're already hard enough to flinch. So now let's talk about Arc 3.0 impressions overall. I think Titans are eating well. Warlocks, I didn't think were too crazy, but if the Arc Souls are obnoxious, we'll talk about it when we get there. Hunter is getting Blink back, so I'm very excited to play Hunter with Blink. I don't know if I'm going to stick to Gemini Jester. Maybe I go Frosties to get the sprint speed after a dodge. I don't know exactly how I'm going to run it. I'm going to try a lot of different setups. I will run Titan just for the Thunderclap melee. You can do like the Shechankin from Hunter x Hunter. Or it's just like you charge up your fist and you can blow stuff up. I want to see the damage interactions with Bubble Titans. Let me pull up a Google image here. Yeah, this is what your Titan's going to be looking like, charging up his fist. Going to be pretty sick. But there are some concerns with Arc 3.0. Whenever we were talking about advanced mobility when it comes to Destiny 2, the servers can't really handle it. The networking model isn't good. People rubber band around and it's really hard to track a target. It also leads to more special weapon usage where they're flying at you with the shotgun instead of thinking about the primary first. So that's my main concern with Arc 3.0. There are some benefits there as usual in terms of team builds and synergy with the old 3.0s. I'm very excited to play it, but my concerns again are rubber banding, latency, and Titans maybe being a little too strong out of the gate. They do have a Juggernaut shield, like Destiny 1 style. I don't know exactly how it's balanced in Destiny 2, but we will see. So now we talk about what I am building to deal with Arc 3.0. So on Warlock, I have a build now where I use Astrocyte Verse of all things on Solar to snipe with Cloud Strike, or to enable Hawkmoon to hit yellow numbers in the air without having to pop Heat Rises. It is amazing. I can't believe I haven't tried it yet, or at least before the other stream. It's amazing. I'm going to use Rain of Fire with 2 grenade launchers as well, Fighting Lion, and weirdly enough, they removed the concussion round perk. So let me quickly pull up a new Destiny item manager tab to show you what I'm talking about. Taking a little bit to load here. So I'm just going to scroll down until I see a grenade launcher. Concussion grenades. Grenades fired from this weapon emit a blast that staggers enemies. So I think that if I tag a Titan with this, it's going to hit them out of the sprint animation, which is going to drop the Juggernaut shield, as well as any sprint-based bonuses and sliding. I find it so funny that this perk is going away, and yet I see a new use for it. We will see, though. I'm going to try to farm one from the dungeon that has both Chill Clip and concussion grenades because I think that's the best of both worlds. So I will have Rain of Fire, Astrocyte Verse. The best part is I just switched to Void and also use Astrocyte Verse. But the problem is Astrocyte Verse has a bug where if you blink 3 times in a row, you cannot slide. If that gets fixed, I play more Void. If it doesn't, I play more Dawnblade. And if Dawnblade isn't getting it done, I go to Tried and True Shadebinder, where I do have an Osteomancy setup that uses Cold Snaps in 6s and Turrets in 3s. For my Titan, I would be rocking Tried and True Antaeus Words. Not going to overcomplicate it. I don't think anything can switch me off of Antaeus Words, besides snipers being really strong. I will have a Sight and Rampart arm in the background ready to go. Hunter, I have a lot of cool builds for, but this is the most devious, and I can't believe I didn't use it this season. I will be using Bastion so that I can beat up Juggernaut Shield Titans and Barricades. You know, 1 for the Juggernaut Shield, 1 for the Titan, and 2 if the first didn't kill. You might be saying, but a full Bastion Valley never kills. That's where you're wrong. If I use Frosties and loop Radiant, and if there is a new Igneous Hammer hand cannon that can be obtained, for future reference here, I will use Igneous Hammer and Bastion, and I might even build into Gunpowder Gamble just for fun. I think that's going to be awesome. I think Bastion will rip a Titan in half. So that's my go-to on Hunter. Obviously, I have Gemini Jester to explore Arc 3.0 with Blink. Have my standard Invis setups. I'm going to continue using Omni Oculus, but instead of building for lengthened Invis, I'm going to build for ways to proc Devour and use it as actual smoke bombs instead of as special weapon fly at you assist. I think that's all that needs to be said on what I am doing to prepare for the next season and what I am excited about. PvP loadouts don't change. It's my same usuals. I will try Dead Man's Tale. Maybe I will like the rework. Maybe I won't. If I don't like it, I would just permanently switch to the battle rifle. But I think I still might like it. So we will see. Hope this was valuable. Good luck farming. And if you need to clear a vault, I recently posted on Twitter my strategy for choosing mobility builds on my Warlock and my Titan. Let me quickly show you that on screen. So how to min-max mobility in PvP. If you play a Titan or Warlock, most builds optimize at tier 40. That's tier 20, and then you get an extra 20 from the Powerful Friends mod on boots or something. So to get this, you're going to keep armor that rolls with a minimum 2, 3, or 4 before the masterwork is applied. So let me go show you. I think Warlock's a good example here. This hood dropped at 2 mobility, right? So since it's 2, I just throw it in the vault. Ideally, I want these top 3 stats to equal 34. So on my Titan and Warlock, keep anything that rolls with 2, 3, or 4. And then keep also armor that rolls with the 6. For some reason in Destiny 2, I'm going to keep it very simple here. Armor does not roll with a 4 unless it's like a very specific legendary armor, or sorry, exotic armor. So I'm going to try to find you a piece that is a 6. Here we go. This is a base 6. It either is going to be a base 2 or a base 6, and it's rarely going to have anything in between. The exotics are the exception to the rule. I think Heart of Inmost Light can roll solid 4s all the time. So I'm going to repeat this again for simplicity and clarity. If you play Titan or Warlock, if it has a 2 mobility before the masterwork, throw it in the vault. If it has a 6 mobility before the masterwork, throw it in the vault. And if you keep keeping that armor, it will be very easy to make endgame builds that maximize 40 mobility. Here's the math that you can check on that. If you want to go above 40 mobility, then what you can do is you can collect armor that has a 9 before a masterwork, and then you use a small mod to add +5, or you go for 14. And then you will be at exactly 1 tier above at tier 50. That's valuable for, like, example, a Peacekeeper Titan, where Peacekeepers add 5 tiers of mobility, so you could use something like Teraba and 5 mobility. So on my Titan, I do keep some Peacekeepers if they happen to roll exactly 14. Does that make sense? I hope that helps you clean your vault. And then this is what a finalized build looks like. 4, 10, 10, 10, 5, 1. I don't value my melee too much. Melees are really inconsistent. I try to stay out of that range. Thanks for listening, everybody. Happy hunting. Happy vault cleaning. Finally, actually doing an outro.